So either way, apparently 100% win rate for CE there. Whereas this ESTAR roster has a 0% win rate because they haven't played yet.
Exactly. They pretty much have 0% win ratio except for Battlefield of Eternity. They just turn it up all the way to 100%.
Yeah. People should start banning Battlefield of Eternity against them. I mean,
yeah,
they're only one on it.
Okay, now for Infernal Shrines, I don't want CE to commit to any other experiments anymore. I really want them to play standard. I want them to play very safe, much more safer than they did in Game 1. I don't want to see a solo warrior tutorial again. I really want to see, like, if we think back to Phase 1 and what made CE so strong, it was aggression, but well-executed aggression, not just some weird draft that didn't really make sense from start to beginning. So I want to see an Illidan maybe, great on this map. I want to see something like a Greymane. Zuyu was just a menace on that hero. He played so well throughout the entire season. What do you want to see by CE here, Tetra?
I agree, Greymane or Illidan would be wonderful. There's no bosses on this map for them to sneak, but it's always cool for them. Always cool to see that because they are so good at it. Just any of those heavy melee comps, I'd like to see them go back to.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the Anubarak ban seems to be something that all Chinese teams have learned by now. Just such a scary hero to face. And the Auriel ban, interesting. So Auriel is normally not a hero you tend to get banned, or you see to get banned that often, because unlike Uther, she only works with a couple of heroes. Uther is normally an enabler for a huge variety of heroes. It can be a melee assassin, it can be a warrior, like hard to kill warriors then. But Auriel normally needs a strong energy creator, and those are normally only Bala and maybe a Gul'dan.
Uther?
And they pick him
right
immediately.
away.
Okay.
Yep. He's made me slightly sick, actually. I'm at 15.
Okay, let's see. You're at 15?
Yeah.
I'm currently sitting at 15. Perfect.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's see if we can prevent it, because the stutters have slowed down, but, you know, I've just mentioned it now, so I've ruined it. So, ESTAR. What are we going to see from them? Yep, there are the stutters. Malfurion could be picked up quite early. Karazim would be pretty lovely as well. Prevent the attempted choke that we saw from CE last time.
And this is the weird situation we find ourselves in. We're playing on the Malthael patch, right? So if one of the top two supports, Auriel and Uther, gets banned while the other one gets first picked by the enemy team, who are you gonna pick these days? Like, there's no Malf anymore. At least not the old Malf with Cleanse and a stronger Twilight Dream. You're basically going to have to find a way around it. And so far, ESTAR really wants to address this by picking another Tassadar double support. And they pick the Rehgar immediately because they are afraid of CE actually banning it out next. So, I like it. I like it.
So the Rehgar appears to have stepped up into that third support spot, with Malfurion sort of being just below him at a fourth in terms of pick order that we've seen so far. So, still cool, but super cool. The double support start. And the fact is, this Tassadar especially would have been perfect for that multiple melee comp that we definitely do prefer.
Exactly.
Or definitely like, not prefer, sorry.
So, now Genji's available. Genji's available. He was not picked by ESTAR. They had 2 opportunities to pick him. They said, like, nope, we want to secure a strong supporter backline, and we want to make sure that we don't get out-choked, out-banned here by CE, maybe banning the Rehgar or the Tassadar next. So, CE, they have plenty of options to choose from. Do they go for the Gengu? He is a strong partner for Uther because, being a fragile assassin himself, Uther helps him out in that regard by dropping that big, juicy armor on him.
Yeah, and also the Divine Shield, but that's not what they pick up at this stage. Instead, Varian and Dehaka. Double tank straight away, or maybe one tank. We don't know. This is China.
Exactly. There could always be a Varian variation coming out here. We have seen Colossus Smash.
Variation, well played.
I see what, I'm glad you noticed it. Thank you. And we, of course, all remember SPT's Fury Varian sitting at 100% win rate, at least in the league. Misty's Brawl, as Tetra said earlier, didn't really work out that well.
The Colossus Smash did come in as well.
Yeah, true.
Which was quite cool to see. And the fact is, the fact that you know they play it, the build can always bait you. Because the second you see that second wind, it's like, okay, prepare for Twin Blades. Nope, could still be Colossus Smash or Taunt. They still run it that way. All you need is that shield wall at level 4, and you are good to go.
Exactly. Absolutely true. especially against team compositions that don't have a lot of burst damage or a lot of ability damage. You can sometimes just skip Live by the Sword and go for the second wind, as you said, because against auto attacks, the basic version of parry is good enough.
Indeed, it is quite nice. So, see, what is their ban going to be? With the Cassia removed by ESTAR, what do they want? They already have a tank and maybe a tank for themselves. So do they want to remove percentage damage? Nope, they remove Tyrael, preventing that multiple melee comp from ESTAR, because ESTAR were also moving into something that could have been a all-in on the Grey main, all-in on the Illidan comp.
Okay, so the inner nerd within me, Tetra, is roaring because he wants to see a bloodlusted Archon.
It could 100% be a thing.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Illidan is still ready for the grabs. I don't think there's like one super hard counter available right now. Like there's no blinds, for example. True, Varian could go for Arthas. Yeah, exactly. Like they could go for something like Arthas Illidan and then go for a ranged, and bada boom, bada bang, you would have
Stitches.
Okay.
And does Illidan still have? I was about to say Illidan. I don't think has an execution style ability. Greymane does, so that's pretty good.
Okay, here's the thing, Tencher. I think Bloodlust Arcane is still a thing. If you go Putrid Bowel, nobody can run away from you, and you're just gonna smashy on your foes.
That's a very old-fashioned comp. I like it.
Yeah.
That's an old-fashioned strat, which is always good. The fact you could also take Tenderizer on Stitches, get value out of that, it's always good.
Let's see. What is CE going to complement their draft with? They need ranged. They need a little bit more damage. Are they going triple warrior? Remains to be seen. We have seen it in the past, and it usually performs quite well, at least in China, because they really like these all-any engage heavy comms, and the variant is just, you know, the perfect foundation. You taunt someone, they can run away, Uther Stun to follow up, Licky Sticky Tongue to follow up, even something like an Arthas is still available. Plenty of
I would
options
really like them to go Arthas, adjust the variant into either Colossus Smash or Twin Blades, whichever one they feel is most appropriate.
Okay.
And then adjust their last pick as whatever their range. I would assume Valor or something else safe. And
they're taking a long time. Okay.
I am ahead of you, it seems.
A little bit. I just had the most massive freeze of all time. Now, KT and Sylvanas. That's a lot of damage over time. It has burst follow-up by KT if he goes for the stun and a well-placed flame strike. The Sylvanas, though. What do you make of it? I know you're a big Sylvanas fan yourself.
I am a big Sylvanas fan, and it very much gives him the opportunity to snowball before that Greymane or Stitches becomes too much of a threat. All they have to do is to stay alive. They could also have a crazy amount of burst follow-up. There's always the option to counteract the Gorge if that is the option. If not, if Gorge is not the option, then they can still go with the Wailing Arrow for the burst follow-up. This makes it slightly more of a problem, though. Sylvanas does not have a huge amount of self-sustain, neither does Kael'thas. Like, Kael'thas can take one bit of healing at level 1, which is tiny and rubbish. Well, it's actually not terrible. It's one of the better talents on this level 1. Or a big old shield, which takes a while to get going. Then again, so does Lunara.
And who's gonna heal you against a Lunara? It's Uther, and he's not known to be the best AoE healer against all that poison she's gonna spread out.
No, Uther should almost certainly go for one of two builds. Should go for the W build to consistently heal as many of his allies as possible, because he's going to need to, or he should go for the auto attack build, just so that he can be within melee range a little bit longer, get more CC to try and prevent Lunara leaping out after she's leaped in, follow up on the variant, etc., and also take the extra healing that you can get on level 13.
Exactly. So, can CE stabilize here? Can they tie the game? Remember, guys, it's a best of 2. The only way for CE to get at least some points out of this first playday is by winning this game. Now, if they lose, they're going to get nada, nothing. Whereas ESTAR secures themselves a juicy 3 points. That's the way it works here in China for this phase, just like at the mid-season brawl. So, Techer, you're very familiar with that system, aren't you? I really liked it, by the way. I really liked the whole way that mid-season brawl was organized and played.
As did I. The 2 set games via points is always good. And to explain, Orca, yes, the stream, we are casting this from a restream, and the stream that we are all being sent from China, this includes the Chinese casted stream, are all having stutter. We received word from Blizzard that they are very sorry, and they've asked the Chinese production to comment, and they haven't. So we are dealing with what we got.
Yeah. There are probably Chinese peons running around the entire studio trying to fix it.
Probably I I would like to think that they are busy attempting to fix it, so therefore too busy to talk to us. That is my mental canon.
Exactly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is going to be game number 2 between ESTAR, the new ESTAR, and CE, the Chinese champions, who fell down to a 0-1 in game number 1. They didn't look as good as we thought they would, but ESTAR coming out swinging here in glorious fashion.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
Welcome to the slideshow. As we enter into Battlefield, Infernal Shrines with, on the left-hand side, ESTAR, with Toomey on Stitches, China #1 on the Rhaegar, Good on Lunara, Kid on Tassadar, and Ooze playing the Grey Mage.
That was ESTAR. Here's CE, currently down 0-1. In the reds, we have Aluful on the Uther, Wind on his variant, KTY on Sylvanas Paradise, being the Dahaka, and Juyu on his KT. Can he bring the fire? Can he turn on the heat that CE so desperately needs?
Kendrick Trish, I have one word for you. Hurrah! Because Varian has gone for his Lion's Fang talent, which has been the potential setup for a Colossus Smash in the past.
It could be. It could very well be a Colossus Smash build, yeah, but do you really want to give away your strategy this early in the game? I'm not sure, so it could still be some weird variation of the tank build.
It does help with the clearing. It does help with the clearing a little bit on the shrine. As long as you can stay alive, you can get some value out of it. So CE decides that they're... don't decide. They get their health pools thoroughly wrecked and proceed to back up and get some health back. Aluful going to have to attempt to dodge the hooks. I have no idea if he did. Looks like he did.
Yeah, there we go. And already a lot of damage being taken by CE. They get another hook onto Zuyu. KT, man, he is a very slow and immobile ranged assassin. If you get a good hook on him, if you get a grip, then he's not going to be able to run away that easily. So good hook aim so far for the right targets. Let's take a look at the other level 1 towns here. Nothing out of the ordinary on the side of ESTAR. Lightning Bond for better shrine clear and wave clear early on. The Templars will, or Tassadar, man, ever so deadly. Full slam build, it seems, for Stitches. And Convection, by the way. Ho, ho, ho. CE, they're taking the gamble, Tetcher.
Ambitious. We will see if it works out for them. And Uther, he is going for the multiple healing. He's going to try and deliver his armor to his teammates as much as possible to try and reduce that poison damage.
Now, here's the thing with Convection. I think it has a place in competitive, but not on this map. I think there's only one battleground where you can safely choose it, and that is Brax's Holdout, because the laning phase there is probably the most predictable one. You don't have to expect ganks. People can't really flank you from all angles all the time. So on Brax's Holdout, where you also need the strongest wave clear possible against the Zergs, it is doable. On this map, though, as you said, it's a very bold call.
The usual receiver works out for them. Variant picking up that shield wall at level 4, pulling back to his base. Stitch is not going for a hook, not even attempting it, as we also see the Sylvanas teleporting away. She's gone for a Shadow Dagger cooldown reduction. This Chaos Class, a bit more standard this time, going with the Netherwind.
Yep, he's going for the more standard route now. We're also experiencing the same lag, guys. Thank you for pointing it out over and over again in chat, but as we said earlier, production has been informed. They're hopefully working on it. We're not being able to follow the games just like you guys are. So our apologies. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do.
We are casting to the best of our ability in the situation that we have been given. Hook onto Uther. He's able to pull back, though. The armor delivery helping him get out. But Lunara dropping good damage onto Sylvanas. Variant trying to turn it around. They kill off Lunara. Nicely done.
So here, I heard that, you know, spamming lag plus adding a baby rage emote in Twitch chat magically increases the speed in which the Chinese peons are working. So why don't we all go for that route? Maybe it's going to help. Maybe you just have to complain even harder in Twitch chat.
Yeah, I've heard, complaining is very much what fuels most live streams, to be fair.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. You guys know what to do. Do us the favor. as we see the Punisher getting killed off, but it did get a fort, and for a first Punisher, that's still pretty good. We saw it last time as well, so nicely done. ESTAR already getting themselves a nice little advantage there.
Yeah, absolutely. ESTAR, they're definitely not slacking. They're continuing to impress here in game number 2. Nice shield here by Tassara, saving his fellow support companion, the Rehgar. KT bombs were spreading, but it is not enough.
They want ooze, but they can't get onto him. Instead, they all eat poison and decide to retreat before, you know, they die.
And watch Good, by the way, spreading his auto attacks to as many enemy targets as possible to really make it quite the hassle for Uther to heal everyone at the same time, which he can't. Like, he even went, true, he did go W build, but that doesn't help him that much. It gives him a cooldown reduction, true, on his only AoE healing spell, but it's not enough. If Lunara continues to spread her poison the way she does, he's going to be sweating under his golden armor quite a bit, because he's going to be spamming those heals whenever possible. We see the cleanse, by the way. No Guardian of the Ancient Kings, because there are no stuns available. So this is also a nice way to counter Uther these days. No stuns, no roots, nothing to proc Guardian of the Ancient Kings.
Yeah, like there's Stitch's hook, and that's it.
Yeah.
So this is very nice. You can in theory also cleanse the hook if you are well timed. So you gain far more from this, cleansing out slows, cleansing out the hook if you time it really, really well than you would with Guardian of the Ancient Kings. And yes, multiple times at Mid-Season Brawl, we saw teams picking Guardian of the Ancient Kings when there was literally nothing to proc it. That is what you call talent complacency, and it is wrong and bad.
Don't let habits get to you guys. So it's a good tip for your own Hero League games and Team League games as well. I know that for many heroes there's the so-called go-to talent build for most games, but sometimes you just have to think differently. Sometimes you really need to analyze very carefully what the enemy team has, and don't fall into this habit of picking the same talents no matter which game you're playing.
Indeed. So, not falling into those same habits appear to be ESTAR, who appear to be falling into... Actually, no, they are falling into the habit. They appear to be falling into the habit of winning, as they are taking down the Immortal in the middle lane. They've fallen into the old ESTAR's habit, as they take that down quite nicely. CE, they're trying to split and gain as much XP as they can. Top lane is getting kind of devastated. Sylvanas is even going to join in. They're going to leave the 3-man, potentially even 2-man defense in the bot lane to try and deal with Punisher. But that does force a reaction from ESTAR, which is going to allow CE to play a little bit on the defense. And as such, with all that XP, they hit level 10 first, but not far behind them is ESTAR. There's a Gorge.
Oh... I think you might be a little bit ahead of me right now, but as you said, there's a Gorge. It's probably not going to be enough to kill. Oh, never mind. There's 4 people by ESTAR right now. See a beautiful kill on the Daka, but that's of course the beauty of Sylvanas. You can force those plays. You can force people to retreat despite having the Punisher pushing, because she's going to push buildings faster than anyone else. Now we see another hook missing, unfortunately.
Nice
dodge
there by KT.
What I would have liked ESTAR do is, instead of running top in order to defend something that can't be defended in time, they should have pushed S5 in the bottom, and then they would have traded forward for forward. As the way they chose to play this, though, caused CE to hold the bottom fort for now, and that was just well played, well rotated with the global mobility by Haka and the building push potential by Sylvanas. Good stuff.
Good stuff indeed, as we actually see CE definitely putting up more of a fight in this round so far, but that Gorge might make it a little bit difficult. We have several vulnerable people. Baron did go for Taunt, by the way, so the Q is just for extra wave clear this time. There is the Taunt cleanse immediately used. Greymane decides to continue being taunted anyway and goes in, but is able to pull back before being in too much danger.
Immediate save here with the Divine Shield, but Lunara also getting the save here. Is it going to be enough, though? She takes so much damage, and she goes down. Poor little Bambi couldn't make it through. Uh-oh, this is not good for ESTAR.
The drag pulling Stitches in as they move in and get the kill. Who's going to spread the living bomb? No, he isn't. He's going to move back in and get blowed up.
That was an absolute bloodbath. The bomb spreading left and right, spreading the love here to the entire ranks, through the entire backline of ESTAR. Lunara fell first, and then it just snowballed out of control. Stitches dying, Greymane dying, and you can see the power of Varian. A well-executed taunt with the follow-up damage, and the CC all together by Dahaka and Uther, just wonderfully executed.
Wonderfully executed indeed, as CE looking much stronger. This is the CE of old. The question is, can they keep it up for the rest of the game? as they continue to rotate with the next altar already spawning, the next shrine already up in the top lane. CE beginning at their slow rotation. There's no mercenaries really on their side of the map for them to take, but it looks like they're actually predicting a small little sneaky fort attempt by ESTAR, and they predicted it right. They're going to attempt to react to it and try and get themselves a pick.
Now the question is, Tetcher, how many stacks does KT have on Convection? I don't think he's died once.
I don't think so.
We're 9 minutes into the game, so we didn't see the notification of production letting us know that the stack process has been completed, but he must be very close, right?
I would think so. They haven't had a huge amount of team fights either, but it's not a very difficult talent to stack in general, so I'm going to assume he's quite close, maybe even completed. Or he just needs to not die anyway. Not dying. Dying is a bad thing, so just don't do it.
We have now received word from the Chinese production crew, by the way, that they're sending someone to investigate the clean feed. So hopefully they're going to find the root of this problem relatively soon and fix it. Now we see another team fight to break out. Oh my
Ancestral lands on Stitches, keeping him alive this time. Wind pulling back. Sylvanas, by the way, the healing W, the healing Shadow Dagger.
Yeah.
That's very unique, but cool. Extra sustain. I mean, if you're concerned about the poison, then you take your own sustain. Keep yourself alive.
Exactly.
Don't rely on your healer.
It's a very good point you bring up there, Tetcher. And I mean, we're trying to decipher as much as we can out of those freezing images here. But whenever I see a teamfight image, I see at least 2 or 3 people spreading the bombs everywhere. So ESTAR, I'm not sure if it's their positioning or CE just timing those bombs extremely well, but they definitely need to focus a little bit more on KT, because I think he's by far the biggest factor that is, causing them a lot of issues right now. But, ESTAR, what are you doing? Trading fort for a keep? Not worth it. Even my grandmother could tell me that.
The question is they're either going to get even if they're going to get the keep.
Oh, what are they doing?
CE move in, they have Sylvanas to disable. ESTAR, most of them have been able to be back. In fact, they're all able to be back. The question is, can they defend in time? It doesn't look like it, as keep is dropping it down. CE pulling back. Don't want to get caught out of position. Stitches moving forward. Minion wave arriving. This is staying potentially too long, CE. The hook just short, but luckily the Punisher gets distracted, and the keep shall survive.
Punishers tend to get distracted very easily, so that was definitely the problem here for CE, why they couldn't get this keep. But even without destroying it, they got a lot of XP, destroying the towers, getting the minions soaked down here as well, which brings them so close to 16. And 16, you know what that means. Fear of the Sun World, 2 flame strikes exploding, and with a fully stacked Convection KT, that is one of the scariest things you could possibly face.
Yes, it is. As we see the rotations from from CE rotating around the map, whereas ESTAR currently in the separate lanes, trying to soak their way towards their own 16, as they are currently behind the talent. CE trying to make something out of this, moving on to Stitches, and the fort with Sylvanas disabling it, and Stitches gets taken out.
Yeah, really, really cool to see the adaptation from Varian here as well, going for shattering throw. Excuse me, smashing throw, as Tetcher would call it.
Smashing throw.
But yeah, it's really, really good to counter the Tassadar shields, which is probably the main reason why they picked it up. Even Rhaegar's Earth Shield gets countered by it. Just a really, really cool way to see Variants adapt. And, I wish more people would pick that talent every now and then. I think most of the time it's just Mortal Strike over and over again, but so much burst protection denied from the Tassadar shields, I like it quite a bit.
As do I. It's nice. I'm really liking the talent diversity from CE here. Like I said, with the life leech coming in from Sylvanas, she's really adapted to keeping herself alive due to the fact that she knows she's going to be poisoned. She needs to protect herself in some way. Dahaka, I would have actually liked to see maybe adjust as well, but at least it went for adaptation as opposed to the isolation we saw in the first couple of games.
And now they actually do have damage amplification ready for Sylvanas. The Cold Embrace at level 16, you apply that onto the target that gets taunted by Varian, and it's going to fall even quicker. And guess what? Even before that, CE didn't really have that many issues blowing individual people up. So
CE have 1,000 of something.
Their power level is 1,000. It's not yet at
9,000.
What? Yeah, they're going to have to try harder to get above the 9,000, so...
Yeah, I have no idea what the 1,000 is, but they have it. Leave in the chat what you think they have 1,000 of, and I am curious. As we see CE preparing for the shrine, they're going to get a little bit of a head start at ESTAR. We're attempting to find Dahaka, but he is a sneaky son of a, and is going to pull back.
Yeah, he's going to pull back for now. 17 to 16. Even talents unlocked. But if you take a look at the team composition, CE's wave clear is just superior. Especially because of KT. And KT so far, in general, Suyu has done such a good job at keeping himself out of trouble, out of the helping hands of Stitches all the time. Dehaka, look at that. He's applying all that pressure in the top lane. He wants to take down that keep. He wants to toy with his opponents while his buddies, his allies are trying to snatch as many skulls as possible. And they're succeeding so. They're succeeding in getting the Punisher and the top keep, ideally.
As long as they survive this, and this would be the perfect move. 37. Can they finish it off? They're getting close, but wind is starting to drop down. They need to get in and do the damage. While Dehaka, like you said, is getting the top keep. They move on to Tassadar to try and kill him off. They silence him with the wailing arrow, and that guarantees the kill. Now it's a 4v4 as they move in, grab the Punisher. Dehaka just killed top keep, and CE dominant in this game.
Absolutely dominant. 4 versus 5. They still got the Punisher. They still get the keep in the top lane. Dehaka cannot be stopped. And I think he used his Brush Stalker. Never mind, he's still here. There we go. It was a little bit hard for me to see. You know, that's a noble sacrifice. I'll take that for probably another keep.
He's delaying as well. He has Burrow. He can just delay so long. Finally taken out. But that's given time for the Punisher to move up. With Rhaegar dead, Tassadar only just about to come back to life. This keep is almost certainly doomed.
Yeah, it is doomed. I don't think they can afford to go for the core. The Storm Towns at level 20 are not yet there. So they're just going to be patient. CE, they're going to wait for Dehaka to reappear. They're going to take this fort in the middle because of Sylvanas. Why not? And their lead is just tremendous right now. Look at how much XP that gave to them. 20s around the corner. They can just now chill at the mercenary camps, host a party over there. And once all of their heroic abilities are ready, again, Dehaka's back to life. They can go for the next shrine, and that should be the nail in the coffin. So far, so good. That's the theory. Can ESTAR hold against it, Tetra?
We will have to see. As for now, CE are just grabbing everything on the map. They're going to get this Castle camp. They've already got their own Castle camp. They're going to get the bottom Castle camp, and they're going to not get hooked. Nice job, Wind.
Yeah, we now have a fully flamed up KT, by the way. Went for Flamethrower at level 20, which allows him to stay even safer. Gives him a huge range on his Flame Strike, which is what most KT players like to go for these days. Varian, Glory to the Alliance, more healing by Uther, always a welcome sight. Also more self-healing, by the way, for Dehaka. So if he finds near the banner...
Sylvanas.
Yeah, and Sylvanas too. That's actually brilliant. It's so good.
Synergy. Nice. Oh, hang on, there's a hook that landed. I have no idea what the result. I think he gorged someone. Yes, he did, but it's Wind. Shield wall. Shield wall. Doesn't care. Walks away.
The beauty of Varian if he's on your team. The frustration of Varian when you're in the enemy team.
Indeed. Dehaka trying to do what he can.
Oh, they blow him up. Oh my god, that KT damage is disgusting, though. Like, they killed Dehaka, but they can't follow up because everyone in their team is massively low. Lunara, though, going for a couple of cheeky leaping strikes. Is it going to be enough? No. CE on the retreat. They're all low themselves now. Uther. Wait, they got a kill. We don't know what happened. Lunara might have gotten a little bit too cheeky.
Yeah, she's dead somewhere.
Cool.
Speaking of dead, the core is dying, but they've cleared it. Okay.
They cleared it in a millisecond. I wish I had those skills in my games as well.
I had the exact same thing.
Oh, ESTAR using next level strategies here, clearing minion waves in the blink of an eye. Beautiful.
Indeed. Also, some of the thousands there. 1,000 total frames. That was my favorite.
Hey, maybe the 1,000 stood for the ping that the clean feed currently has.
Yeah, I had that one as well. That was good. As we see ESTAR clearing out, trying to poke in onto the shrine, but at least it's mid lane. If this was any other lane, this could potentially be GG for ESTAR. This lane has a keep still in it. They have some cannon fodder, so therefore ESTAR, they have a small chance. They're going to have level 20 for this defense. Question is, are they going to be able to utilize it? We have the Galloping Gate coming in from the Lunara. Storm Shield, that is the Hardened Shield. The extra go for the throw resets, cool. And the Infinite Archon.
Beautiful. Unlimited power. We have the Twilight Archon being deployed here. Perfect timing also by CE. They're paying attention to those small details, like getting another Bruiser camp ready, so we have additional, or they have additional pressure in that top lane. Even Dehaka, like, not grouping up fully, but he's going to have lightning reflexes because he needs to join the fight at the very first sign of resistance by ESTAR. They can't allow to fight 4 versus 5 in this very important moment of the game where they could possibly end.
Yep, Tas pops the Archon, is able to do that very early now, due to the fact that he has the reset of the duration. The keep, though, already down. Punisher down to 50% health as Tastar's getting
so much
down.
poison.
The Twilight Dream. Sorry, the Wailing Arrow onto the back line. The poison is spreading out as the shield is currently still up.
Shield is up, KT. Shuyu in trouble. He's going to get saved and peeled by his support. It is not going to be enough. Lunara takes him out. 2-for-1 trade, but the Punisher is hammering on that core. Is it going to be enough? I don't think it is.
Lunara, the only surviving member, but everyone's low. It's up to you, but Tahaka has so much health. Ufa's healing up. Lunara's zoned out. And that is GG. And CE is going to take game number 2, making the score 1-1. 1 point for each of these teams, which actually puts them behind KT and behind RPG right now. So currently, ESTAR and CE are second place.
Crazy. But of course, they had to face each other in the very first game of the Playday here. So probably the hardest opponents they could possibly find. So a 1-1, I think, pleases both of those teams. Of course, a victory would have been nicer, without doubt. But still, we have the first tie in Phase 2, and both teams take 1 point. I think in game number 2, CE managed to collect themselves. They showed us signs of the older CE that we saw in Phase 1. But still, not the CE I would have loved to see, especially not against a brand new team that has never played in that constellation.
Completely agreed. That was very, very impressive by the new ESTAR. I look forward to seeing how much they're able to grow, because let's be honest, if they made themselves together at the very end of the Chinese HGC, then at maximum they have had about 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks to play total.
Yeah.
That's how long they've had to practice together. So being as good as CE in that amount of time, hell yeah, big props to you. That is cool to see.